Good morning, Ponyville.
Good morning.
And welcome to what is now the second episode of the podcast. Fun, say something.
Yep. Hey, what's up?
Okay, that's a fun fact. He's here. He didn't say anything, but he's here.
Yep.
And so let's see. I'm gonna say this because I'm sure it'll say in the description of the first episode, but we have not released the first episode yet. So fandom still hasn't ended, but the episode still isn't released. So possible fandom could end. Anyways,
Yeah.
so we'll release that on Monday, and we're going to keep one episode back, so that like if something comes up and we can't do an episode for the week, we can still release something, and it makes editing a little bit easier on me. So all good stuff.
Because, just one day later, fandom ends. Done. Okay, well, I guess we can't release podcast anymore.
Right. Well, if the fandom had ended today, it would give us something to talk about.
Eh.
I like we could still put it up for archival purposes.
True.
I believe that we
alright.
haven't introed ourselves quite yet.
Did we do that last time?
Did we?
I think we have to. I think we should
I
do
mean,
this
we, like-
every.
Yeah, we should
single time.
definitely do it every time, but like last time we like gave an extended, this is me, this is how long I've been in the fandom.
But
blah,
that
blah,
was
blah.
that would just say
That was the
us-
first
us.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like-
So I'm just gonna say I'm Dr. Freedom.
Hello, my name's Sky. I am the Sky. I am always above you.
What?
No.
Wow.
Can you just cut that out?
Jeez.
I think we'll keep it in.
Now I have to leave it. In.
Yay!
All right, next.
I am Fun Fact 216.
Ooh.
I'm pretty cool. I think
he's
me.
pretty fun. And also pretty
Hey.
factual.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm biased eyes.
And
I don't actually
Yeah.
have biased eyes. It's
are they biased towards like not seeing? Do you not have 20/20 or?
I have 30/20.
Oh man.
I have way worse than that. All right, next.
Alrighty
Next.
then.
All right, so normally at the beginning of the episode, if we're like on season, which obviously we currently aren't. Maybe if you're listening to this 6 months from now, it won't be obvious. But currently, it's real obvious there's no show going on. So the only news we really have is a little bit old, a couple days, and some of it's all way older than that. Is about the writers for the show, and so I'm just gonna run through like what writers are returning, which writers aren't, and for all of us who don't religiously follow the writers, just sort of like what episodes they were involved in. Worth keeping in mind that when I say like, oh yeah, like these guys wrote like this episode, that there's normally like 3 or 4 writers on an episode. So even if 2 guys are leaving and they both wrote some episode, there's probably 1 guy left. We don't know, obviously, like what specifically each writer contributed. So maybe all the good parts are from the writers leaving, or vice versa. But
Let's hope not.
yeah, let's hope not. So let's see. Let me. I'm gonna go. I guess I'll go most recent to least recent.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
So Kevin Burke and Chris Doc Wyatt are not returning for season 7. They were involved with The Times They Are a Changeling, Viva Las Pegasus, and Pony Point of View. I think. Do we want to just like give our thoughts on like the episodes and which ones we thought were good or something?
Well,
or,
all 3 of those I haven't really seen quite yet. I'm still catching up.
Oh yes. You're
Same.
okay. Well, I've seen them. Biased, you're up to date, right?
I have. I'm actually not up to date. The
my
episodes you
God.
listed are the episodes that I haven't watched yet. But I have.
Well, I mean,
Why?
do you?
Skips
I
over
have,
those
like,
3
a
intentionally.
shame folder for writers.
I mean, do you want to give your thoughts on it
Shame
anyway?
folder. I guess I'll give mine since I'm the only one giving thoughts. Times They Are a Changeling. I feel like I didn't like as much as everybody else. It was a fine episode. Viva Las Pegasus I really liked, if only for the fact that like Flim and Flam didn't become good guys at the end, because just the rate at which they're like redeeming villains.
Villains
I don't know.
are just dropping like flies nowadays.
See, that's what I'm having a problem with myself, because usually with a show, like, they'll have a few villains come in and out, but eventually they'll have like that one character that's bad, but it's good that they're bad.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like I guess with Chrysalis, like having her as like kind of the resident bad guy, But when you knock out all of these characters and make them good, like kind of like with Trixie, like I liked her being bad because she was a good bad.
Yeah, I mean,
Technically
she's
speaking,
wasn't
she's
evil.
still bad.
well, I was gonna say
Oh,
at least with
in a way.
Trixie, they like still have this like people don't like her, and that kind of like makes her an interesting character, as opposed to with like
Right.
Starlight Glimmer, who would have made a perfectly good villain, and they like converted for no reason.
I mean,
Exactly.
that-
it's like sometimes you
that
gotta
one
have
gets
that,
to me,
that
but-
one
when
villain.
you get to the point where a villain is warping space and time, where
Yeah,
else
okay.
can you go?
So there's this whole other problem of her being like overpowered, but her character itself like seemed like it would make a good villain, and she would like not contrast well with Twilight, but be like a good
Foil.
yeah,
foil.
for Twilight, yeah. So arch enemy, something like that. It seems like it would play off well. Alas, they didn't go that direction. So we'll never know. But all right, continuing on with writers. Mike Vogel is not returning as a writer for season 7. It says in the title here he's working on movie, but then it is the movie, but I'd also like. Oh no, maybe I'm thinking there's one of these posts McCarthy mentions some other like TV show. Not this post, we'll get to it. But so let me just pull up real quick.
Vogel did just one episode, I thought.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's also. Hang on. Yeah, he might have done just one episode. I mean, like he's on the movie, so it's not like he's like gone if you really loved him.
I
Yeah,
think his
I guess
episode was
maybe
good.
he's already working on that
Yeah.
script.
What episode is this?
Well, if they
I'm
probably
trying
don't have
to
their-
look it up. Oh, here. A heartwarming tale, spice up your life, stranger than fan fiction. Every little thing she does to wearing back again, part 1 and 2. He was involved in all of those.
Those are generally good episodes of the ones I've
Those are
seen.
generally good episodes. Heartwarming tale wasn't like a bad episode.
I
It
liked
was just
that.
it was a good episode, but why they put like it in the middle of what it was like July, and it was a Christmas episode. It didn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, this year's winter didn't make any sense anyway.
I
Yeah, that's
suppose
pretty
every little thing she does was kind of like I don't know. I didn't love, but that's also like Starlight being overpowered, and we just sort of kind of went through that. So, anyways, but the rest of them were like pretty good. Let's see, where this one. GM Burrow is returning for season 7. She apparently wrote a bunch of the Pony chapter books, and last season, so season 6, she wrote the one where Pinkie Pie knows, which was like, that was the one where Shining Armor and Cadence tell her that Cadence is pregnant, and she's not allowed to tell anyone, and so she like basically spends the whole episode just like not exploding, or trying to not explode rather.
And then she literally
So it was-
explodes at the end of the episode.
And then she literally explodes. I mean, it was like amusing, but it wasn't like some amazing.
Just her being her.
I mean, it was like a decent Pinkie Pie episode.
What do we all think of Pinkie Pie in season 6?
6?
Yeah.
Trying to think. She seemed.
Yeah,
Fine.
I
Yeah,
think
she's-
the writers
she's
realized
alright.
that they didn't know how to write her and left her in the background. Be my.
So basically,
Well, she was.
I think she's
I'm
starting
trying to
fade
think
back.
of what she
yeah.
was in. She was in Spice Up Your Life. She was in The Gift of Maud Pie.
Oh yeah, she was
mean,
well
she
characterized.
kinda had to
in the
be
Gift of
there.
Mod Pie, as far as that goes.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good episode. Like even
Yeah.
episode 3, I was like, damn, this is like a pretty good episode. And that was like after the opener, which I thought was awful. So it like gave me some hope.
yeah, the opener wasn't too good.
The
season
opener was
6.
like the Starlight Glimmer parts were the highlight. That's
What was this
Honestly,
opener?
yeah.
I've forgotten already.
The season opener is like they go and Flurry Heart's there and she breaks the heart and
Oh
Celestia
yeah,
and Luna
This
spend the
that
entire
was
episode.
pretty awful, just because it all focused around this new character.
Yeah.
Well, I
and
mean, it was
then
giving characterization, really.
it didn't even characterize Flurry Heart.
That's a
I mean,
good
she's
point.
I mean, she's also a baby, so like there's only so much
Flurry's
characterization
quite a
you can
baby,
do.
yes.
I mean, like she's this character the fandom doesn't like. The episode is basically centralized around her, and then the parts with Starlight Glimmer were definitely the highlight of that episode. Her like interactions with Sunburst, right?
I really like that, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that part was good, and then
I'm pretty sure
and then there
those
was
are
the
the
rest of
only
the
parts that I
episode.
remember, actually.
Yeah, right. That's the
Yeah.
most memorable parts. All right.
Fun. Do you have any comments?
I like. Oh yeah, I was say like I really do like Starlight in the new episodes. As far as Pinkie Pie, yeah, like I can see she's not like as great, like not always like for like front stage in a lot of the newer episodes, but one character that I've definitely has gotten like changed up over time is Rarity. She seems more, I wouldn't say nicer, but she's kind of lost that like that kind of diva mentality that she used to have.
Yeah.
And because a lot of people are like, oh man, I can't stand Rarity because she's so stuck up, she's so pretty. But it's like, yeah, but that was her character. She was supposed to be
season
that way.
one. I remember
all of the characters from season 1, the main 6, have come so far from season 1 to season 6.
I was gonna say, so the first episode I ever watched was Sonic Rainboom, which is Rarity's worst episode ever.
Yep.
And I was like, wow, Rarity's like awful. and Rainbow Dash was like pretty decent in that episode. I mean, there's like a lot of bad Dash episodes. Like, and I feel like most of the time when someone tries to write Rainbow Dash, they like do a Tanks for the Memories episode, and it's just like they portray her as a complete idiot.
Yeah, I don't think people know how to write Dash or Glimmer.
I think like my testing 1 through 3. That was what, season 5. I thought that was an excellent episode. I loved that episode. The like interactions between Twilight and Rainbow Dash and like I love that episode. But yeah, most of her episodes are not good. Poor Dash.
Well,
so
I feel like
I will say
Tanks for the Memories doesn't really decharacterize her. It's like it was kind of badly conceived almost because
it's like
at least it was a nice pun.
It's
it felt like they needed a filler episode, and they had to come up with some random like off story.
It wasn't even like a good off story that like she's gonna stop Winter to save her like hibernating pet. It was.
So moving back to the writers.
Right. We're totally off track. Let's see. The Fox brothers will return. So that's Mike Fox and I can't find the name of the other one.
So Mike Fox and his brother.
Mike Fox and his brother. Hang on, I'll get it in a second. Will Fox, spelled with one L. Whatever.
Okay.
And they were involved with The Gift of Maud Pie, Applejack's Day Off, and Pony Point of View. So they are returning. So since we've now spent a bunch of time talking about the show itself, 2 of the guys who had worked on Pony Point of View, one, Burke and Doc both left, and they worked on Pony Point of View. But the Fox brothers were also on Pony Point of View, and they are returning.
Oh, Doc, you left? When did you leave?
I don't know why I left, but I dipped. Okay, so that's those 2. Real quick, Applejack's Day Off. What did you guys think of it? If you saw it,
have I seen this? Hold on, I need to check my Netflix.
It's like Applejack. It goes to the spa and like fixes things.
I didn't think it was.
Oh yeah,
that
that one.
okay,
I actually kind of like that one, actually.
Yeah, I'm really bad with episode names on anything, so
Yeah,
it's gonna be my thing. Like, you'll hear me googling in the background.
Right, it'll be click, click. Oh, there it is.
Basically, give me a synopsis of the episode, then I'll know what you're talking about.
Right,
I'll
I've gotten much better simply because of MLP, but I'm still not like good with episode names. Some people are like, oh yeah, I loved like whatever, like Secret of My Excess, and I'm like, what episode is that?
But yeah,
right.
about Applejack's Day Off.
I mean, like I know that one is obviously that I like thought of it, but
Applejack's Day Off. I think that was pretty good.
it was an Applejack episode that wasn't about apples. What more could you ask for?
Yeah, that's great. I like how it took her out, and I like the thing between Applejack and
I
Rarity.
like
I like how they always because they're 2 conflicting personalities.
Right.
It's like, I wouldn't say one's hard work and the other isn't. But one works in a field and the other works.
Yeah,
in a boutique.
it's like very different
that's a very
styles
interesting
of work.
combo.
And
I liked the world building. I mean, since when have we seen the innards of a spa? Actually, no. When have we ever seen the innards of a building that wasn't a boutique, a house, or the town hall, or
the
canter
like
lot?
four buildings we see the interiors of. Let's see. Okay, and then moving on with the writers, Dave Polsky, who has been around a long time.
Yes.
Not returning.
I hate that guy.
What was he behind?
His-
Lord.
His best episode was the one with the buffalo, in my opinion. But he
Are
was
you
in that
kidding?
episode, the Feeling Peaky Keen. But a lot of the episodes that I just liked were written by him.
Okay.
Too Many Pinkie Pies, Rarity Takes Manhattan, For Whom the Sweetie Belle Tolls, and Equestria Games. Ooh.
Yeah.
I like
I have not seen Equestria
so
Games.
so I
boy.
do wonder like how much you can blame like Polsky for Equestria Games.
You can
there
blame
are a lot of
everything on
writers on
Polsky,
it.
You
in my
can-
opinion.
I actually, yeah, in that case perhaps, because like it's not like they didn't set it up and then he kind of just like totally trashed the whole thing.
Equestria Games, the movie or the episode?
The episode arc.
No, the episode Friendship Games was the Equestria Girls movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, then I saw that one. And that one
Okay.
wasn't too good.
No, it wasn't a good episode. It was a Spike episode, which at the time I was like, man, I'm glad this is a Spike episode. We already all hate Spike, so we don't have to like take out our hate on
Yeah,
another
but
character.
like Polsky's responsible
Yeah.
for the whole arc, I think. He's responsible
Is he?
for games ponies play.
Okay.
Just a sec.
Yeah, it doesn't have his full episode list on here, so if you can pull that up.
I think Rainbow Falls is by Corey Powell, who I also don't like.
Okay. But let's see. But what was I gonna say? I was going to say something.
Something
Oh yeah,
about the
because
writers?
let me. I was going to say Larson, who I actually like really love Larson. I think he as like
Yep.
a person, he's a great person. I like see him at conventions.
Oh yeah.
He's just great. And then like a lot of his episodes I really like. With the exception of the season 3 finale, because of the whole Alicorn thing, I can't get over it. I've been salty about it since it happened. So, but so at like that kind of episode, I don't know how much you can blame the writer, because I like know that he said at like some past convention, I can't remember what convention it was, but they had the video, and he was like, yeah, we like asked Hasbro to do this in like 2 episodes, and they said no. And, like, you know, it's not like his choice to turn her into an alicorn, basically. So, like, in that respect, those sorts of things I don't think we can blame on the writers. As opposed to this example with Equestria Games, where, I mean, like, they kind of, like, set it up for him, handed him the keys, and he just, like, drove right off a cliff.
Yeah.
Poor guy, poor us. We're
I'll
all in
say-
the car, and we just go right off the cliff.
The entirety of the Brony fandom in one car. Goddamn.
And then Spike
Please no.
Spike turns around and like grins at us and gives us a thumb up,
That's
and we're all like, "No, Spike, please."
characters should not look at the
I say the
camera.
only like. Yeah, so when you have somebody like Pinky that's self-aware, it's like yeah, like we get it. Like she can break the fourth wall any day. But when you got people like Spike doing it, come on, please.
Like, stop,
Spike,
stab, stab.
All right, Bias, did you like find whatever the heck you were looking for?
I was just looking at the Equestria Games arc. It's just games ponies play and Equestria Games that Polsky is responsible for.
That's one heck of an
Okay.
arc.
Well, no, there's more
there's
episodes
more to the
in the
arc.
arc.
I hate the whole arc. There's also Rainbow Falls and Tradia,
Really?
which are
Oh,
I
well-
consider part of them. The arc,
I like
but
Rainbow Falls.
I'm trying to think of the other episodes. Whatever, we'll come back to this at some point in
We've
the podcast.
spent quite the time
Yeah, yeah.
with the writers.
I don't know.
are we
how
done
much.
with the list?
I think so. Oh no, there's one more. Kevin Burke and Chris. Oh no, wait, what? Okay, I had that twice. Yeah, we're done.
All right.
Okay.
Woo.
So,
Woo.
what is next on the docket, Doctor?
On to the art.
Alrighty then, on to the
I'm gonna
art.
hand it over to Biased or whoever the heck wants to talk about it, because
Yeah.
I don't pick the artist.
Biased, go for it. You've picked it.
Yeah, no. The Wizard of Art is a very nice traditional artist that I found on DeviantArt, as usual. His pieces are softly colored. He uses watercolor for a lot of them, and they're just he doesn't have quite the output that some other artists do, but all of his pieces are very high production, sort of.
Very, very well done from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good quality. One thing I'd say is usually with The way I really love traditional art is when it's, after it's been scanned, put online, is it looks so it looks almost like digital art.
Oh,
It
yeah,
looks
it
like
really
something that like a computer would have done. Like it's really, like you said, it's high quality, and he spent a lot of time on the details, and there's very few places you'll ever see like a gap in the color or something, like, unless it's intentional as like a shine or like the sun's reflection.
Like, I'm looking at this one piece called Winter, and that looks so digitalized, and I just blows me away that it isn't digitalized because of how shiny it all is and how cold it looks. It's
So
oh my god.
just real quick, I did not know he had done this piece, but the moment you said watercolor, I'm like, how many artists within the fandom like do watercolor? So I had seen this piece forever ago. I'll pull it up on the screen, and it's by the Wizard of Art, and it's just like this fantastic. It's got Coco Palmel like walking down the street in Manhattan,
Mhm.
and it's just like this fantastic drawing, or it's not a drawing. Fantastic piece. It's like it's like just rained. It looks like, so the ground's like all wet,
The
and
reflections are
like,
really good.
oh, they're so good. It's just the whole piece is like great. There's like details and like all the billboards and
Small
the
details.
ponies themselves. I just absolutely loved that picture.
Like, this really just brings me into the piece, like all the small details, like the fact that the water is splashing up by the wheel over there.
One, the reflection coming, like you see Octavia
Yeah.
on like the theater,
That's what I was
and then
gonna
you see
mention.
the reflection in the water. It's so good.
I don't think people understand how hard reflections are to do in painting, and this is just so good.
When you're not on a PC and you can't just copy paste and throw it
Exactly.
on the bottom.
Exactly.
It's so
Just
good.
Throw on
Oh.
a slight blur.
All right, I have achieved like newfound respect for this artist now that I've realized it's that piece.
Yeah.
Oh, Swan
I'll
Boat.
say I love the water in that one. Swan boat with
Oh, that's great.
Pinky's riding. She's riding on the back of like a swan, and Rarity and who's that? Maud are behind her. Just like they're sitting on a bridge looking after her. And the splashing of the water that's done, it's absolutely like, I still cannot figure out how to do like that white like spray that water gets when you like splash it.
Yeah.
It's really well done.
They are really good. They're
Stu-
really good at water.
Stupidly talented comes to mind as a term.
Pretty much.
I mean, it's fairly obvious that each piece takes a fair amount of time.
A lot of time.
Oh yeah, I can see him easily spending days on these.
Yeah. I mean, he's been doing pieces since the beginning, like since 2012.
Really?
And he has like 50 pieces out. But
Back
he's
in my
been
day.
working steadily to make those. So
Yeah. Well, yeah. He's got like recent stuff. So that's cool. Awesome. Oh, there's this. Oh, summer.
Yeah. I'm
Oh,
pretty
that one
sure
was
he
winter.
does I'm from these two pieces I think he does one per season at this point.
Yeah. He's got a winter and
'Cause-
an autumn, and I
oh
haven't
my.
found the spring. Oh, there's spring.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
look at that.
Maybe I'll just
rainbow.
throw all four of those up there in like some
Yeah.
collage. I'll try to do that.
Look at that lightning.
My
oh my god.
skills are limited, but and then this is I'll link this one. I'm gonna have to like save all of these. I guess I'll just go back and do that now. But
Yeah, I've been downloading them.
Mhm.
the is that no it's this one. Yeah, it's just like the Pony Kind of Christmas. Rarity's like wearing that dope dress, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a great picture.
Like, everybody's doing what you would think they're doing.
Right.
What you think they'd be doing.
And Applejack's eating. It's perfect.
Yeah. Fun. You got anything to say about this?
Pony Kind of Christmas. I love Christmas time. I love trees,
Mhm.
snow, especially snow. Love snow myself. And seeing as he does a lot of like snowy, wintry kind of art, I like this. This one feels like sort of like not a counter to it, but like you see like the warm fire. You're inside the tree house, so
it's all warm and
it's like
cozy.
it's a snuggly, and you can see
I've
like
just
the snow on
realized. I've just realized. This is still in the library. This is in Golden Oaks.
Yeah, this is...
That that
Oh.
alone just makes me Golden Oaks.
Oh,
rest
the
in peace.
feels.
you'll notice
feels.
that Twilight's not an alicorn in this one either.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. That I'm not too shaken about.
I
See.
appreciate it.
I don't miss Wingless Twilight so much as I miss the old Treehouse. I
Yeah.
loved her original.
I will say, if
So
I had to take one back, I'd probably go with the tree.
Yeah, Treehouse.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that was definitely more a part of her character than not having wings.
Yeah, I mean, I have like major problems with the wing thing, but I just the fact they blew up the tree just salty to
Well, they
like
had to
the
to
salt
make
level.
way for the Crystal Castle.
Yeah,
they did.
I don't think they really did. I mean, like for the Crystal Castle, yes, but they could have just like refurbished the castle of the two sisters. Like they literally set it up on like what, episode 3 of that season. They had Mania. What is it? Castlevania?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't toyetic enough. That's the problem.
Well,
Yeah, it
to
wasn't-
be fair,
Yeah, I couldn't
They
make it
could
through
have.
the
They could have used some magic to make it look pretty and
to be
sellable.
fair, look at it this way: Twilight,
acrylic.
the book horse. Twilight has a much bigger library now.
I suppose, but man, the library was so good. Ah,
Now I miss the dimensional warping.
I don't know, dude. That library, memories.
Yeah.
All right.
So moving on. Anyway.
If you wanted to add something, I'm not like trying to cut you off. I'm
Yeah.
just.
Oh yeah. My little thing was just I feel like a lot of stuff like this goes away. Like when I think of Ponyville, I don't think of a crystal castle. I think of like friends and
Right.
like a nice little like a little
Yeah.
tree house. You know, like you and your friends like playing in a tree house, and that warm kind of feeling went away when you build this giant rock structure in the middle of this town.
At this point,
wasn't-
kind of lost its
It
identity.
wasn't even a good-looking rock structure. Like there was going back to how much I love Larson for a moment. When they did the season 4 opener, Bronies React, they had Larson on. So
Yep.
if you haven't watched any of them,
I saw that.
at least go watch that one, because Larson, he talks about what the show or what that episode, because he was writing it, right, was originally supposed to be like, and what they changed from what he wrote. But there's the scene where they pan in right at the beginning on the castle, and it cuts to Larson counting a stack of 20s, and he's like, "Oh man, don't you love that castle?"
I mean, the only treehouse left in Ponyville is the one in Sweet Apple Acres.
Oh, that's true. The Cutie Mark Crusaders Clubhouse.
Yeah.
They're gonna blow that one up and give them a castle.
No. They're not gonna blow that one up.
love
They're gonna
that.
set it on fire.
They're gonna set it on fire from
Burn it down.
the bats.
Yep.
It's all the bats. Then they'll chase Fluttershy out of town. It'll be awful. The worst episode ever.
The Cutie Mark Inquisition.
watch it, though.
Inquisition.
Cutie. Nobody expects the Cutie Mark Inquisition. All right.
Monty Python.
Good stuff. Let's see. I'm just looking at time real quick.
We're about half an hour in.
We're a half an hour in. We should probably move to fan fiction. We spent a little bit of time on the writers.
Yeah, we spent a bunch of time on the writers
A bunch of time on the writers.
because
So.
we kept on going off in tangent about the show. I mean, that's what that section's
Yeah.
for anyway. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's that section's about the show. So
By
it's
the way,
FBD.
one more thing that I'm just noticing now about the art, the way he does his shading, I want to kill him because of that, because I can't figure out shading
Please
for the life of
don't.
me. I'm not gonna
We
kill
want-
him. I'm not
we
gonna
want
kill him.
more of it.
I want more of it.
Fluttershy just looks so happy in that Christmas picture.
Oh. All right, so moving on.
All right. Oh man, I need to close some of these tabs. It's getting bad
So the
because
fanfiction.
I still have all the writers.
the-
Right. So the fan fiction for this week was pulling up the pen here.
A Melody's Soul.
Yeah.
By
See, this happens a lot.
Monophony.
I can't remember, and you're like, oh yeah, this is it.
I have
who's
it
it by?
tabbed. It's either Manaphy or Monophy.
Manaphy.
MANAPHF. No, yeah, PHY.
I'd just say Manaphy.
Yeah, Manaphy.
Like the
Manaphy.
Pokemon.
All right.
Oh, there's a. See, I don't know enough about Anyways,
All right. Brief synopsis.
all right. Brief synopsis, I suppose. Some of you have read it.
Actually, hold on.
Some of you
Who's
presumably
read
have
it?
not read it.
I've read it.
I read it.
Started to
I've read it.
This is really not the story that I like, so not the sort
Okay. Right.
of story that I read.
I mean, I'm just biased towards Octavian Vinyl,
Me
but
too.
there were definitely some things that I thought were a little bit odd. Well, for I'm just gonna nitpick for a moment. There were a couple of moments when I was reading, and it wasn't it was wrong, but it just didn't flow super well.
Yeah.
There was
Well,
there
like
was
where?
There's one specifically, like when she starts talking to Vinyl. I think it was when she was like talking to the waiter.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm too far in.
I don't actually. No, hold on. Was there a waiter? I didn't actually notice that there was a waiter.
The waiter never talked. I think she just like nodded at him or something.
Okay, that's a bit odd because whatever.
Okay, so yeah, let's go there. So like as you're reading, like Octavia gets to like this pub, and Vinyl's sitting there, and the explanation for why she's there is not perhaps perfect, but I don't know, isn't terrible. Like your suspension of disbelief is like fine. Basically, she's like, "Oh, I like expected you to come here," and you're like, "Okay, like they live together, blah blah blah, whatever." I mean, it's still a little bit weird, but okay.
Yeah.
And then like Vinyl doesn't talk for like 4 lines or something
And,
like
like,
that, and then
I thought they
you
were...
like expect her to be mute
Yeah. And
because of the show.
that
And I was okay.
Oh
Yeah,
my God, we
you
need
you
to stop
go.
talking over each other.
Right. You go, and then I'll go.
For me, I actually kind of wanted to see that continue and see how the writer would actually pull it off. And the moment that Vinyl started talking, it was just like, oh, okay, so you're just not talking because of your because you don't really care about your raspy voice. Okay,
my
sure, why not? Let's go with that.
Yeah, my like the whole raspy voice thing is like kind of all right, if only because we all like picture Noacking when we picture Vinyl Scratch talking. But
Which is kind of sad because there should be a lot more. Like, there are a lot more voice actors that do a very nice Vinyl Scratch.
I don't know. I enjoy Noac's Vinyl, but I've also like just I don't want to say grown up with it, but that's basically the phrase.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically. But I was like, oh no, is she gonna be like a mute? How are they gonna write this? I was like, this would be a nightmare to write. And so then she wasn't, and I was like, possible crisis averted. I mean, like maybe they could have pulled it off, but it would have been like.
It would have been more interesting.
Yeah,
it would have been more. It would have been more interesting if they pulled it off, but it would have been probably unreadable if they didn't.
So, Fun, where did you end up? Where did you get to?
So about the I finished it all the way through, but about Vinyl being like they started. See, they led me on because I like a mute Vinyl. I like it because it makes you think like, oh, she uses music to express herself. That's why she has like this talent for music, because it's her way of communication. But so when they started it out with her like
not talking,
not talking, it felt better. Like, oh, okay, like I see where they're going. Like she's gonna like point to her, like she won't really say much. She'll just kind of nod and do things. So it'd be more of like Octavia trying to. It would almost lead more to the mystery of like why why is Vinyl there? Like Octavia has to think in her mind like, oh, is she here just to see like what's her intentions? And it would lead to a little more I wouldn't say maybe juicier of a story in a way. Like I don't see, that's a weird word for it.
I'd say like more full.
There'd be a little more mystery. There'd be a little
some more
like
conflict almost, because
exactly
that's what I didn't like about it.
More mystery.
Yeah.
there was no.
Less
It was just
conflict.
like the most laid back slice of life. It was like
this was
quintessential slice of life, where they're
That's
all just hanging out in a bar talking. It's like
It's pretty much what it was.
which I don't like have a problem with generally. Also, I don't like mute Scratch really, but that's only because I read like every Octi Scratch or Scratchtavia, whatever you want to call the ship, on Fanfiction before episode 100.
I can almost guarantee you that no, you haven't.
No, I mean, like, at the time, I, like, literally could not find a new one. This was back in Season 2, though, so there was a lot of less fan fiction.
Right.
Volume-wise. I mean, and I didn't read them all the way through, always. Sometimes I'd get part of the way in and be like, this is horribly written, and I'm not reading the rest of it. But, I mean, like, obviously something like University Days is, like, the cream of the crop.
Yes.
I'm like, overshadowing the fic we're trying to review here.
Yes,
but
that's a good point.
if you haven't read University
I thought
Days,
that was the exact opposite of the point of this podcast, but
right.
Moving back to
Moving
Melody's
back.
Soul. Doctor, you asked like something about these romantic tensions that didn't really
So
make
like
it to the
there's
surface?
this whole thing going on, and it's more noticeable in the end. But I reread this because I read it about a week ago when I was like picking it out for the podcast basically, and And then I like read it again partly. I didn't read it all the way through today, but I read it all the way through before. And in the beginning, like once you've read it through once, if you read it again, there's this whole thing about like Octavia's heartbeat, like when she sees Vinyl and her heart like skips a beat and all this stuff. And there's just like all this romantic tension that's never resolved, and that seems weird. I mean, you can kind of blame part of it because the fic's like a one shot and it's supposed to be short, but at the same time, they could like at least address it or something.
I've seen one shots handle romance between characters, not just Vinyl and Octavia,
Right.
but I've seen one shots handle romance a lot better than this one did.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. It just seemed
on a
weird.
more positive point,
Yeah.
I picked out a line that I like in the fic,
Okay.
which is back where Vinyl's not talking, but it's just an interesting interaction, where it's like Vinyl shook her head, then pointed at Octavia's chest. She gently poked it and snickered.
Oh.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it like.
That was a line that really stood out to me, actually. Yeah. In fact, I had to reread it.
Yeah, that was back at the point when I was still like, oh, I see how they're doing this. This is how the communication will happen.
I was really intrigued. It was like, ooh, this is new.
Yeah, you were like, oh, this will be interesting. I did. So the way they characterize Octavia is like she's like successful, but like doesn't. It's not like she. I don't even want to say she like doesn't fit in with the other musicians, but she doesn't. She's not like friends with any of them, and so she's like kind of lonely. And Vinyl, like, I thought that was like interesting. I mean, I think Octavia is like generally portrayed as like upper class, sometimes like snooty and like doesn't interact too much with other people. She's much more the introvert, and Vinyl's the extrovert generally. But this seemed less like she was an introvert and more like she was like not shunned, but just didn't have this like available
Like out
social.
of place.
Yeah, like she didn't have the social circles or whatever she might wish to have, which is less like about introvert and more about just like not. I don't want to say not
those
fitting in
definitely
again,
go
but
together, but
yeah, to some degree. But I mean, like she'd be less concerned about it if she was an introvert. I feel like.
Of the fics that I've read, I wish I could write stuff, but I can't. I mean, I can't, but whatever. Anyway, with Octavia as the focal point, and even some Tumblrs that I follow, a common trend among them is just like they have fellow band members, like the ones you see in the first and only, as far as I know, Galloping Gala episode. And I kind of I like that. I kind of like that setup.
Yeah, that's like a pretty consistent theme with Octavia's. You have like Beauty Brass and I can't remember who they name the harp player most of the time, but Harpo. Yes, I'm an idiot. Harpo, and so those are like relatively consistent. That's just on Vinyl and Octavia generally, because they're like background ponies, and until episode 100, which was based on the fan interpretations of them, they didn't have any canon character, and there's the whole debate about whether 100's canon anyways. Putting that aside.
Wait.
What?
Episode 100 is the fan interpretation of them. Then why is Bon Bon a secret agent?
Okay, well that was I don't know what that was, to be honest. But Octavia like having a British accent and Vinyl like doing Vinyl things.
Hey man,
I don't know.
Vinyl things
That's
is very Vinyl.
Vinyl doing Vinyl things is terrible phrasing, but I think you all get what I mean. That's definitely just like taking the fandom and just like putting it on the screen.
Yeah.
But anyways,
it was good.
But they like have relatively consistent characters. I mean, they like change certain parts from fic to fic, but like if you read Vinyl and Octavia fan fictions, like you're going to get relatively the same character every time. Whereas this was always my problem with Lyra and Bon Bon, is they don't like have these like preformed sort of like almost stereotypes that the characters play into to some degree, greater or less depending on the writer. And so like the variety you get in the Lyra Bon Bon fix is wider. So if you like that, then that's good. But if you want a more consistent experience, then it's bad.
Does anybody have anything
So,
to say
there's
on this? After
I'll say, there's always those people that are, they kind of have their head canon, and if it doesn't
Yeah,
fit,
I'm going to
what
get
they think.
slaughtered in the comment sections. If there's any, it's just going to be hate mail.
I actually have.
Oh, see, I like it when Lyra and Bon Bon this and that.
I actually
It's
remember
like,
a fic that I came across this one time. But before I go into that, Bias, do you have anything to say? Bias?
I-
Hello?
What?
Biased?
Oh no,
Do you-
that was just
Do you have anything to say about like the whole Vinyl Octavia Lyra Bonbon
I
series?
actually have a surprising lack of opinion here.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I feel like the whole fandom like gives a lot of like craps about Lyra and Bonbon and Vinyl and Octavia, almost somewhat inexplicitly, or not inexplicably, inexplicably, given that like they were on camera for like 10 seconds.
I actually have stuff to go into about this. Actually, I
Okay.
find.
Well, I'm
what-
just gonna say real quick before you start. The only consistent characterization of Lyra and Bonbon is that they're shipped together. That's like their only
Exactly.
character, and I almost find that fascinating, because then you just like it's all about like couple dynamics and how the writer wants to write it. But continue.
So what I find about I have two things to go over actually. One of the main things that I find amazing about this fandom is that when you take a look at the show, right? Season 1, we have
Oh.
Derpy, we have Vinyl Octavia, we have Lyra Bonbon. Everyone comes together and makes up backstories for these seemingly random characters. And just I find that to be so much fun to do, because I've actually done it myself once or twice, and that didn't really end well. Anyway.
I was gonna say I feel like that happens less now, for a couple reasons. One,
That's already been done.
the fandom's bigger. Well, it's already been done. But I mean, like, if you just run into like people, there's the collective hive mind is so much larger that it's harder to get ideas to stick with enough people for them to have staying power.
Right.
We're also given background characters on a silver platter now. You can't
Yeah, they,
develop
like-
backgrounds for characters like
Right.
Saffron Masala's father, or for Silver Shill, or for any of these ponies that are sort of the near distance background, because they're already characterized. The writers have done that.
Yeah. One, I mean,
I
like
still
when they're
think it's a lot of
using
fun.
what was the Trixie episode where she became friends with Starlight? I can't remember the name. We all know what I'm talking
the
about.
most recent one?
No.
The one
No,
where
the most
Trixie
recent
is
one
going to
was
commit
Trixie.
suicide, and that
Yeah, the
one where
throws a
Trixie's
wrench in
gonna-
the whole plot, but whatever.
Yeah, that was a bizarre.
That was strange.
Leaving that plot hole aside, I mean, like that whole episode, they have like Cranky Doodle and like Vinyl and just like all these characters we know and like because we know and like them
I was gonna
Sort
be
of in a pandering way almost. It
So
almost like bothered me in that episode they used Vinyl, like she didn't fit at all. Whereas opposed to like in the Rarity Boutique one that we like just talked about, the writer, I can't remember the name of it. It was season 6.
Secrets of My Excess.
No, that's
that was
season 1.
Polsky in.
That was
Yeah, that was
That was
actually-
season-
That was season
Oh
1.
no, that was M.A. Larson. Sorry, that was M.A. Larson.
I also have something else to say, but
Was it?
continue.
Okay. If I could remember. Whatever. Rarity, Manhattan, Boutique. Pinkie Pie has to go upstairs and deal with Vinyl Scratch because she's too loud. That, like, actually fit the plot,
It
and so I
really did.
didn't mind them using Vinyl. But when she's just, like, randomly appearing in Ponyville listening to, like, music, it's, like, bizarre.
I mean,
I don't...
it's
didn't
canon
notice
now that
that.
she lives there,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
going back to the fanfiction side of things with the whole relationship with Vinyl and
Right.
Octavia, I actually came across this one fic where basically they swapped personalities, and that was
Oh.
really interesting because it was still Octavia with the charcoal straight mane and in the orchestra, but she was more of an extrovert and more out there and talking to people and talking to ponies and like being like Vinyl. And Vinyl was more like an
Vinyl.
introvert, being all adorable. Okay, that's just biased anyway.
Just,
Being
like,
all
hung out in her
adorable.
basement and made dubstep.
I mean, and I find
boy.
that to be really, really interesting when writers can do that, just swap personalities.
Yeah, they just, like, invert your expectations or invert the trope, and then it's, like, interesting because they've inverted it and how it plays out. So,
Yeah.
it's cool. Anything else for the actual story we're supposed to be talking about? I mean, we've kind of, like, tangented a long ways, but...
Oh yeah. I mean, overall, what would you mouth
Uh,
work with me here?
Mouth work.
Um, what would we all rate this? I'd say a solid 6, actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a 6 or a 7. It's not bad. It's
It's
like
definitely not bad. It's definitely not bad.
it's like well, like from just like a written like grammar perspective. Like I said, I only had like nitpicks. Nothing worse than I have when reading Fallout Equestria, because Fallout Equestria still has all those typos that KCAT just like
Yeah.
won't let anyone fix. But so like if that's like what I'm judging by, which perhaps for grammar and spelling and such I shouldn't. But I mean like it doesn't like as long as it's not pulling me out of like the story where I'm like sitting there staring at the sentence like you wrote this wrong like and I'm like trying to figure out in my head like how to fix it. That did not happen when I was reading this. So on that respect, it's very good. Like I said, the plot is like a little bit weird in spots, but nothing that's like horrible. The worst part being that like there's this whole romantic tension that's never resolved. So yeah, like I'd give it a 7. I'll rate it higher than you.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
All right, I don't believe in I don't believe in the number system,
Oh.
but I would say as far as
What-
ratings go,
What about stars? You gonna give it stars?
no, oh, God, it's even worse. Who came up with
I
that?
don't know.
Anyway,
I think,
So
the
you
food,
get-
I
I
think the
say-
food industry did.
somebody. So I say that if you're into, I wouldn't just recommend this to anybody.
Yeah.
But if you're really into vinyl and Tavy and you just want if you just want to read things that are about Octavia and vinyl scratch, then yeah, go ahead and pick it up.
You ha-
But,
yeah, you
otherwise you're not missing
if
anything.
you
otherwise,
if you don't like slice of life, do not read this.
do not read
Yeah.
this. This is there's no it's not a conclusion. It's not. It's literally just like
It's
a
like
filler
they have a
episode, you know?
day and they just like took a slice out of it.
Pretty much.
Exactly.
It's like a literally definition slice of life.
All right, Bias.
So
Yeah, I mean, I would kind of echo fun, and say that this is the sort of story that I actually prefer to like write as opposed to read, because
Oh,
when
definitely.
I write it, I have to actually work through it a little bit more in my mind, and that's kind of the fun part. This is like a good fic to read if you want to relax, because it's a very chill
yeah,
slice of
It's a
life. with
very
little
chill.
conflict.
right.
And for me, it's like I've actually written a little bit of that, and it's always I always look over it afterwards, and it's just too boring to post anywhere. But this is absolutely like if you think you'd like to read something like that, this is a good story to do that with, and it's not totally boring. So
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've like just like thinking about trying to write slice of life. That's my problem is I'm like there's like no conflict. What am I going to write about?
Well,
But-
you just introduce conflict.
Yeah, in the form of like deciding what's on the menu or something.
Well, I mean, with slice of rice, yes,
Slice
slice
of
of
life.
rice, yes. Anyway, slice of life. Normally it's paired with romance, so there's where the conflict comes.
Right, yeah. Interestingly, this does not have a romance tag.
No,
So
I mean, you could also have a slice of life just being paired with kind of social conflict, and that can work well.
yeah.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't know if anybody's heard of this, but I kind of, if Who the Princess would destroy, that had a lot of social conflict in it.
I do not know.
Basically, it's a fic about the social office in Canterlot trying to handle a visit from Twilight Sparkle, and it's very funny.
Interesting.
For those looking for it, Obab
link it.
Scribbler did a very nice reading of it with other voice actors.
If you're into readings, or if you're into readings instead of reading it yourself.
Yeah, I don't think
Which-
it's on Fanfiction.
think
At
it's
least
on
I don't
EQ
get
I think
it.
it's on EQD.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll find the link. It'll be in the description. All right, we're gonna move to music because we got like 11 minutes left exactly
Yeah.
from when I said 11.
Yay, my favorite part.
All right. So who? I think we all listen to it. It's pretty easy to listen to the song.
Yeah, I have a giant thing to go on to if anybody wants to speak before me.
Yeah.
There were 2 songs, and one of them had kind of.
Oh yeah, I should like say what song we're doing first
Yeah.
before we talk about it.
Yeah.
That'd be wise. All right. So we're covering Loris just generally, but the song at the end is going to be Shy Cannon because if you Google Loris MLP, And it's with 2 R's. Don't let YouTube confuse you. It's going to tell you to use 1 R. Don't do it. I mean, I'm just going to link it anyways, so whatever. But it's going to be Shy Cannon because when you search it, that's the first one that comes up. And it's like 8 months old or something. But interestingly, and worth noting, the person we did last week, Namira, literally like a few days ago, so it's going to be like a week or so after we do this podcast, put out a remix of Shy Cannon. And they've also collabed before, if you go and you look. So if that interests you, because this is like real heavy dubstep, and Namira's like
Extremely
super.
heavy.
Namira's like real laid back, and then you just get like Loris, and it's just like wubs for days. So
pew 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 pew.
yeah, yeah.
So, I guess I can just start now.
Yeah, unless someone else has
Yeah.
wise things to say about dubstep.
Go ahead.
So, basically, when I listened to this today, and I've been taking a music tech class in my school, and I've kind of applied a lot of that to what I'm going to be talking about. So, with Loris, I was digging around with some of his stuff as I was drawing today. It's a very, very, very easy format to listen to and can follow along to. For those who are interested in music and like the mechanics of music, like verse, chorus, bridge, and that kind of thing. For this, Loris really understands like the wall of sound concept that is really important in electronic music, like with consistent pace, no pauses in the music. It doesn't really depend. It doesn't depend on the volume. It just every single bit, every single time. It just every single brain. It's been a long week. I'm sorry.
That's all good.
So basically, it's a wall of sound, and this is Loris's type of music is kind of what I would listen to personally while drawing or gaming, because that's the type of music which would get me immersed and just to spend the time being productive. And as we said before, there's a whole lot of wubs. In Shy Cannon, I'm pretty sure I can literally hear the word wub when the wubs are going on. Yeah.
It might be. I'd have to listen again, but
yeah.
there are definitely wubs. Whether or not they say wub, there are wubs for days.
Yeah. With Loris and a lot of other electronic musicians, but he does this very, very well. He knows how to come back from the crazy section right after the bass drop, and just he knows how to bring it back and constrain it, and not a lot of other people know how to do that
you have like the build up, and it's just blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
and then people are like, no, what do I do? Including myself. I'm just like, I was you just like think about trying to make a song, or like you get on FL Studio and just like mess around with the keyboard, and you're just like, all right, here's the cool part. Now what do I do?
Exactly, and he knows exactly what to do, and it's kind of amazing because that's what I've been struggling with myself in the class. He also focuses a lot on the drum section, with like hi-hats, snares, kicks.
Appreciate it.
A lot of actually, I take away like the wubs and everything, and he has a lot of like trap elements in it almost, because of like the amount of hi-hats and that kind of thing. I know there's a bit of an argument in between us concerning the vocal samples, like in Shy Cannon, I enjoy like the cut noises with Fluttershy's dialogue, because I personally think it introduces another instrument, which I find to be very, very interesting, and well done. So there's my tirade done.
Yeah, just real quick on like the voice as an instrument, that just gets used a lot in electronic music. because you can't do it in other music, so it's kind of unique to electronic, and so the genre is going to take advantage of that and all this other stuff. But like when I if I like play something in the car that's electronic, my mom will always be like, I don't like understand the lyrics. I'm like, you're not supposed to understand the lyrics. It's like an instrument, not like singing. It's used differently. You can't like listen to it in the same way.
Yeah.
She just like doesn't get it. But
it can create instruments as well as the vocals themselves, which is very interesting when it comes to electronic sound.
like Gabe the dog.
Oh, Gabe the dog.
You had to bring it up.
I had to bring it.
Wow.
It fits
Okay,
well.
explain it. Explain why we're
Topical,
all
but
sad.
Low blow.
It was all right. So if you don't know who Gabe the dog is, the little like white puffy dog looking right at the camera, going like Bork. That dog, used in like all the really like goofy, stupid remixes that everybody does. He passed away today. The owners have like a Facebook and all this other stuff, and they're like, yeah, we got him at the shelter, and he was like pretty old then. But he lasted like 5 years or something, even though he was like old when they got him. They were like, he was a great dog, and everyone's like, sleep well, puppa. Or I can't remember exactly what they said. I read it, but it was something
Rip and
like
Bork.
that. Rip and Bork.
Everybody, moment of silence for Gabe the dog.
Bork.
Bork.
He shall
All right.
Bork in heaven.
We have
So, anything else with the music, with the 4 minutes? Left?
Yeah, real quick. Yeah, so just about I guess how you were saying about like how it's something you listen to in the background. For me, I could see like certain games, if it was a game that's just something I also like I'm not investing like all my senses to
right.
If it was like like an RTS or something, or like Minecraft or something that
Yeah,
I play and I have to have something else.
I'm not gonna play StarCraft 2 blasting this. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah, but there's some games.
Gather
like,
more
that, like,
crystals.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
but there's
like Call of Duty or something. It'd probably be fine as long as you're not like tryharding. I can't imagine too many people still tryharding COD, but someone has to.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's part of the MLG.
Well, it sounds like something you'd have on like a stream or something, like stream.
Yeah,
music in
yeah.
the
Like
background.
I could
really...
see putting it on a stream. Just like as long as you're like energized. Like you're not like gonna play chess to it either, even if it's just like a casual chess game.
What?
Like any chess to dubstep, it's just not happening.
No.
Are you sure? I would
You
feel
beg to differ?
perfectly okay doing that.
Actually, that's a good point. I would totally
You're
do
like
that too.
Queen trade.
Yeah. No, I played chess when I was young, so it's like
Yeah, I played chess in high school.
yeah, boring.
Chess club.
Chess is great.
All right.
Chess step.
So, Bias, you have anything to say about it?
Not I would play chess to it.
Yeah, I was gonna say on a scale of 0 to playing chess, how do you rate it?
Playing chess.
I mean, playing chess is not the highest compliment I can give music, but playing chess.
No, I mean, chess is a really nice game, though.
All right, well, it's off topic on chess. But...
I don't know. I feel like chess is a good game as long as you
People take it
and
serious.
your opponent stay fairly balanced. And when you're not, it becomes very boring.
All right,
yeah.
so focusing.
All right, well, we'll discuss chess later, Bias.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There will be a fierce chess debate to come. Join the lunch table if you wish to see it, because it'll probably happen before we release this podcast. So we just have to like scroll up.
Yep.
Anyways, I don't have any words of wisdom on like real dubstep. That's not a phrase, but I just made it up now.
So, any finishing remarks on anything really? Because we're coming up on like 1 minute left.
Yeah, so we're
Any
just
finishing
finishing
remarks?
up now. I might cut out like a couple seconds, but like this.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
All right then. So,
okay.
fun.
I always want to keep it in now.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah. So as far as like this week goes, it wasn't really my style. Like the fanfiction's okay. The music's are like it's not something I would personally seek out and like have my own playlist. But it's cool. Like this is part of the reason I'm in the podcast. I learn more and I get to see all these new parts of the fandom I wouldn't see myself. So even like
Yeah, I was gonna say like just going through because I'm like going through musicians and fan fiction, and I'm not generally going through art. I leave that to you guys. But like just scrolling through like fan fiction and being like, all right, who's got like 500 followers and has written a lot of stories? That's like literally just what I do, and I just scroll through and like reading the descriptions and just like looking at people's fan fiction. It's just like interesting because it's like stuff you don't see. Same thing with the music. You're like, oh, what's this? And you can like find some really good stuff that way. You
Yeah,
could also
really-
find some
yeah, you really
some
can.
not good stuff that way, but
It's
it's just the search.
it's a roll of the dice, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a more of a depth-based search, so that like I just follow hundreds of artists on DV.
And I bet your notifications section is off the charts.
I'm at like
If I don't
12,000.
check it every day,
I have a friend who would get like literally hundreds of notifications a day, and it was awful.
that
Well,
I do get literally hundreds of notifications.
yeah,
a
yeah.
day.
I was gonna say you are now that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Alright. Yeah, I think we're kind of
this has
rambling.
been,
So
this has been a lot of fun today. This is a good finish
all right,
and good beginning, I guess.
all right. It's the end of the second podcast. We're now going to play Shy Cannon by Loris. Took me a
Alrighty.
moment.
Have
Alright.
have a good day, everyone.
Have a good one.
Yep, have a
Yep.
good one.